So what brought about the decision to change or to get rid of the car side of the business?
My heart wasn't in cars,
Yeah.
to be quite honest. Although it was a separate shop from where the Reliance were, we gave up with Reliance. We took on various East European makes,
Wow.
Yugo,
Right.
but then I took on, eventually got Hyundai,
All right.
and they weren't particularly reliable in those days. There's a model called the Stella, which taxi drivers use, quite popular. We used to have our own hire purchase company, and we used them, but they were terrible payers, and it got really hard work. But we were selling quite a lot of Hyundais. I think out of a little shop we had down the road, I think we sold just over 100 Hyundais one year, and then which was above average for a Hyundai dealer evidently. And but then they demanded that we move to bigger premises, and so I did that. Moved into Bradford, got another place there, sales manager, got the whole setup running there. It wasn't an ideal place. It was on 2 levels, which made it awkward. But we had a lot of, we had a reasonable amount of success there. But then they demanded that we moved into even bigger premises. The site we used was a Volvo dealership that moved, where he had to move into bigger premises. And so it was all about expansion. And I got to a stage where I couldn't really afford it. But I'm still at Saltaire Road. We had another couple of other shops. I then had a second-hand car dealership. I got robbed blind by a salesman there who was fiddling everything, and I didn't spot it for quite a while, and that cost me a lot of money. And then we decided that really we'd just better off I decided to concentrate on the motorcycle side.
How did the move from Saltaire to Shipley go, the new shop? How did that come about?
What I did was in 1995 we thought, or BMW were trying to talk a lot of dealers into making a soulless BMW shop.
Yeah.
And that's what I decided to do. We had an opportunity to buy a shop in Shipley, which used to be a Vauxhall car dealership. Looked very impressive, tiled floor and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it looked really good. And we moved into there in 1995 with just BMW. And BMW helped us deck it all out. We did get a bit of help from BMW to do that, because then it was like the model BMW showroom, soulless BMW dealership.
Because that were the early days of soulless dealerships.
Yes.
As such, wouldn't it? Because I know nowadays it's a feature where
it's a necessity.
It's a necessity.
Yes. Yeah. It is for the franchise. Yes. And it works that way now because the range of BMW has completely changed. I mean, in the 90s we're dealing with nothing but the
that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, nothing but the horizontally posed twins. And
was that a handicap as such for a brand?
They were falling behind actually because again, they were not renowned for their performance.
Because the K series would be out there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, there's a K series. There was some 4 cylinders and there was a 3-cylinder K75, which is quite a nice bike to ride actually at the time, but not to race on. It's a good steady tour. But we did well, and again we were always in the top 3 sort of volume dealers of BMW in the UK. Nick was not for me doing all this. He didn't really. That's my brother Nick. We disagreed how to run the business really. Anyway, I bought him out. That's cut a long story short.
So what was the next step with the company?
From there, not long after, another thing happened, which was it's a bit of a game changer for the business, in that Motorcycle City made an offer to buy the business at Saltaire Road.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where we had the Japanese franchises, Triumph, Ducati. But City did an interesting thing. They wanted to buy, but the one thing they didn't want was BMW. And BMW wouldn't allow Motorcycle City to have them either because they were renowned discounters and they were a completely different type of operation. But during that time, the motorcycle industry was taking a bit of a beating, and I just thought this is a chance to get out. We weren't really having a big problem with the BMWs
because they were staying strong on the price front.
And we'd got this separate BMW shop, and I thought, right, I'm going to throw all my efforts into selling BMWs at the BMW shop. I can get in and out of it, it's all on one level. It's going to make it a lot easier for me to manage and look after it. And that's how the move came. So after I'd parted with Nick, about a year later, I sold one part of the business, which actually, it sounds as though we sold it to make loads of money, but we sold them to get out of trouble.
Get out of debt,
yeah.
Because you find you were turning over a lot of money, but there was no profit in it.
It was worse than that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we were losing a lot of money at the time. Yeah.
Well, you had to business your way out of the trouble as opposed to just hope the market changed.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it was really a fortunate move, and so from there we did double our efforts into the BMW side of the business.
Well, you could focus.
And it grew from there.